You can't do that. I was about to enter the study room when I heard my mother screaming. It was as if she and Daddy were arguing about something, so I slowly opened the door and peeked in on them, trying my best not to get noticed. It is not something new to me, but I know that when they are fighting, it always has something to do with me and my siblings. So, I thought I should listen first. Maybe they were talking about me. I might have done something that Daddy didn't like unconsciously. That is the only thing I can do to save her. My father's voice is calm, but I can also feel in his voice that his decision is already final, because he always believed that what he does is always right. So I was even more curious as to which of us, siblings, they were referring to. Marrying her off with that prince will only ruin her life forever, Mom insisted. Her voice was filled with fear and worry. You know how cruel that bastard is. He will just take advantage of our daughter, and they just wanted to use her because the people of this country trusted her more than the royal family. I know that, Dad said. I am well aware of what they want from her. But what can we do? If we don't get her married to Prince Hector, her life will continue to be in danger. You know that we no longer have the ability to protect her.
If this opening already has your heart racing, thank you for being here. Truly, it means more than you know. I'm working toward 1,000 subscribers. And if stories like this move you, please take 1 second to subscribe to Moonshadow Mates. Smash the like button and drop a comment telling me where you are watching from. Your support keeps these stories alive.
Ah, they were talking about me. Well, I am aware of the things that have been happening in my family, even though I am often out and socializing with common people. I am not a princess. I am just a simple daughter of a duke that has been actively doing what I want to help. Not only the people in our domain, but also anyone who really needs help. That is what my late grandmother taught me. Helping others is something that is not based on what title is attached to our name. So, I just followed what she started. I helped a lot of people around the country. I have set up several foundations and most of my rich friends have donated to them voluntarily. We helped many students so they could continue their education without worrying about their tuition fees. I also have built some public schools supported by my foundations. And it was being used by children who lack money to study. Above all, I also built several public hospitals, using the money that my grandmother bequeathed to me. I focused on the education and health sector for the goal of the foundation that I created, because those are the things that our government neglects the most. I want nothing more than to help people. That is what is always in my mind. I don't need anything in return for all the things I did for other people. It is not even my money. I was just continuing what my grandmother wanted, so I didn't really expect that what I was doing would become a big issue, causing my life to always be in danger. I have received a lot of death threats. And our previous close relationship with the royal family that rules all of Hexoria Kingdom has also gradually cooled because the citizens are looking for me more than them. And because of that, I stopped going out more often in public. But the citizens were not happy with it because they thought that the superiors of our government were preventing me from appearing before them, as giving way to the members of the royal family. Well, part of that is actually true. Several palace ministers also talked to me and forced me to stop everything that I was doing. They wanted to get rid of me in the public's eye. They also wanted me to transfer all of my foundations to the royal family. But of course, I didn't agree with that. Not that I really care about the fame, but I know that the ministers just wanted to take my foundation for granted. They will just use it to gain money. How would I know? Because if the palace really wanted my foundation, the king would immediately give a decree about it. But I haven't received anything from the king itself. It was all the palace ministers who kept bugging me. So, I told them that the only compromise I could give them was to reduce my exposure to people. Before, I was always socializing in public almost every day. I reduced it to twice a month as promised to the ministers. and I only work at home to take care of the paperwork needed by the foundations and hospitals that I manage myself to avoid getting seen in public. I already started this, so I can't just stop what I am doing. I promise my grandmother, and I don't want the people I am helping to feel sorry because I am hurting the pride of the ministers of our country, and it is not like I am trying to outshine the royal family. I also don't have the intention of harming our government and making them look like they are not doing anything for our country. As a matter of fact, the Azarias, the clan that leads the Hexoria kingdom, have been doing everything they can to take care of the people they serve. They always make ways to ensure every aspect of the needs of every citizen. They are great leaders of our country, but people do not really appreciate all their hard work because they rarely appear in public. So people couldn't feel their presence. And now that my father is thinking things like this, I guess the people around the royal family, who were actually making this issue a big deal, were still not happy with what is going on. They consider a simple Asper Rain Dahlia a big threat to the leadership of the Azaria clan. They think that I am the reason why the people of Hexoria were not looking at them. They think that I am only ruining the image of the royal family. No. Mom still strongly objected to my father's idea. She was just trying to help other people. She doesn't like fame. She just has the capability to help others. And it is not her fault if people felt her presence more than the royal family. And their argument inside the room continued, because neither of them doesn't want to give way to their decision. So, I was slightly startled when I heard my brother's voice from behind me. But I immediately recovered and turned to him. His eyebrows were raised while looking at me and placing both of his hands on his waist. "It turns out you brought a bigger problem here now, Asper." I sighed and grabbed his hand as I pulled him away from the study room. I don't want our parents to know that I heard them arguing, because Daddy will definitely force me to agree to the solution he was thinking of so that the threat to my life will disappear forever. I took him to the garden, and he hasn't changed the way he looks at me when I face him. There are still traces of questions, and it seems he has no intention of letting me go until I come up with a way to stop the problem we are facing now. "Look, sis," he said. "You are the only one who can solve this, and you know it, right?" I know that I am the only one who can end this problem because I am the one who brought it to my family. That is why, even though I don't want to, it looks like I don't really have any choice. For the betterment of everyone, for the convenience of the palace, and to make my family's life more peaceful. Asper Rain. Dahlia's POV. A clear morning dawned on me when I opened my bedroom window. That is why I thought of hanging out on its balcony and drinking the coffee I brewed earlier after taking a shower. 1 year. It has been that long since I left our house and ran away so that Dad's plan of marrying me to the prince of this country wouldn't go through. And within a year, the attention of the palace and its officials gradually disappeared from me because I also completely stopped appearing in public. But even though I don't show up to people anymore, I continue to help them with the foundations and hospitals that I have built. That is one thing that I can never stop no matter what happens. But all of my transactions with them only happened via email, and the one who is currently in charge at the office was my youngest sister, Azia. Well, only a few people know that I left our house. Jasper, our elder sibling, was the first one to know. He didn't even agree to this plan because he knew how dangerous it is for me to leave my parents' house. Somehow, my parents' position still protects me inside our estate, so others are not making their move whenever I am at him. Well, I understand his concern, but leaving our house and hiding away from the people wanting me gone is the right call for this problem. This is the only way for me to end this mess without marrying the cruel prince of Hexoria Kingdom. It is the only way for my family to get back the peace in their life and for the royal family to stop worrying that I might rebel against them. In the end, he realized my point and agreed on my plan. After that, I immediately told my mother and Asiya about it, and they didn't hesitate to agree. Mom said she would rather let me go and hide while doing things I love than be locked up in the palace with the prince, who will surely try to enslave and use me for his own gain. Then, Asiya volunteered to manage my foundations and hospital on site, so it will continue to operate even though I am not around. I also got to say goodbye to my other 2 siblings, Kezia, the 2nd child, and Easter, the 4th child. Like Jasper, they also didn't like my plan, but after explaining everything, they also just agreed and just told me to take care of myself and never do anything stupid. I would also like to say goodbye to my father personally. But I know that no matter what I do to explain what I want, he won't accept it because in his mind, marrying the prince is the only permanent solution to protect me, even if that is not what I want for myself. So I didn't bother and just left a letter for him, with some clothes and enough money to live comfortably. I ended up in a small town in the southern part of our country, Yane City. This is still in the countryside. Not a lot of people are coming here since there is not much attraction here. Well, aside from food. Besides, most of the people living here were high profile and wanted to stay away from the mess in the larger city. The rest of the people living here were foreigners who were married to the local people here. Elderly people who have retired from their job and have chosen to stay here, and others are people who are used to quiet surroundings and away from the noisy city. And this is a perfect hiding place for someone like me who wants to avoid the eyes of the public and the palace. Since media coverage here is also rare, the part of town where my house was built was not yet developed. I only have a few neighbors, and they are too far away from my block, which is good for me because I don't have to socialize with them. Well, except for Miracle, my only friend in this place. I met her 2 months after I got here, but even though it is not that developed, this city has a good economy. Aside from farms and other agriculture businesses, this place was filled with good restaurants that the tourists visited, and to make sure that no one will notice me, I always stayed inside my house while Miracle managed my Sweetheart Cafe, my source for my daily expenses. I stopped using my personal assets and the money that I inherited from my grandmother when I moved here. It is one way to prevent Dad or anyone from the palace from tracking me down. So, I established a cafe that serves desserts, coffee, and teas just to support myself here. Asper. I looked at Miracle, who was standing in front of my house's gate. She was frowning while looking at me. "It is early in the morning, Mira," I laughed. "You seriously greeted me with a frowned face." I stood up and immediately came to her. She is Miracle Rydale, Mira for short. She is only 2 years older than me, but she has more experience in handling a business, especially a cafe. That is why I didn't hesitate to ask for her help and hired her as the manager of my cafe. She was the one managing my store, while I stayed inside my house baking the product that we are selling at the Sweetheart Cafe. "Didn't I tell you that I would be coming early today to get Mrs. Santiago's order?" she said as soon as we met in the kitchen. "That client wants her order to be delivered in the morning because she meets with her friends. Can you please relax even just for a bit?" I handed her a cup of tea. "Please sit down for a while. Enjoy the tea that I got for you." "Asper," she glared at me. She is so strict when it comes to the cafe. She always likes to take care of everything, and she never lets us fail every client that we get. I sighed. Well, it is my fault that she was like this. I let her do all the work outside and at the store while I enjoyed baking in the comfort of my own house and kitchen. So, it is my fault that she didn't even know how to relax even for a while. "Fine," I said. "I will prepare the orders, so just calm down." "Okay, sit there, enjoy the tea, and relax." She breathed deeply and nodded. Well, she didn't really have a choice but to sit, drink the tea and relax while she was waiting for me. Asper Ray. Dahlia's POV. Any news at the cafe? I asked her as I put the ordered cupcakes in the box. I only visit the store once a month to avoid getting seen by many people. And if there were a lot of customers at the store, I immediately went home so I wouldn't bother our employees serving there. I just ask Miracle for everything that happens in the story, since she is always there. I was planning on hiring an extra waitress, since we are getting a lot of new customers these past few days. She put a folder on the counter. You can check the resume of those who got interviewed yesterday and tell me who you want to hire. Aside from that, I also need to hire 2 new delivery drivers because the order for deliveries is also increasing. You mean within the 5 months of the cafe? It is starting to be recognized around the city. She nodded. Your accidental encounter with Soraya gave a good impact on your store, she said. Her visit to our store was such a big help. Soraya is an internet food influencer. She likes to travel around the country and feature different cafes and rate its product. And unexpectedly, while she was making a video for her new Target cafe, she bumped into me. It was a bit strong, so I fell and sprained my wrist. That is why they had to bring me to the nearest clinic and get me treated. She apologized too much even though I already told her that it was not her fault. I also didn't look around my surroundings at that time because I was busy staring at what was happening inside my store. And guess what? She thought I was a homeless woman who was waiting outside my own shop. She even took me inside the Sweetheart and treated me to a lot of sweets. As her way of saying sorry, she also ordered something for her, and when she tasted it, she decided to feature Sweetheart in her video instead of her initial plan. And since I didn't want to take her moment, I didn't correct her and let her take a video inside the store. I just told the waitress to guide her because I can't be seen in the camera. Miracle also didn't want to be included in the video, but Soraya got to tour the whole store and included it in her video. Miracle laughed as she remembered what happened. And until she left, you still didn't tell her that you were the owner of the Sweetheart Cafe. And until she left, she still thought of me as homeless. I laughed and shook my head. Well, I still couldn't believe that happened. I mean, I was wearing decent clothes, clean jeans and a shirt, so I never really imagined that someone would think of me as a homeless person. I was curious. What were you doing outside the store that day? She asked. And you didn't even try to enter the store. I was in the area that time, so I decided to take a quick check at the store, I said, after placing 5 boxes of cupcakes in front of her. But when I got there, I saw that you have a lot of customers inside, so I didn't bother to enter. Oh, she nodded. Anyway, speaking of that woman. She finished her tea and stood up. She called me yesterday and asked if I saw you peeking in the store. Why? I asked. Is she coming back here? She shrugged her shoulders. She didn't mention anything. She just told me that if I see you again outside the store, give you something to eat again. I chuckled. Her views on me didn't really change, huh? What will she do if she finds out that I am the owner of the Sweetheart Cafe? You really got that girl's attention. Huh, and it is not my intention. I walked her outside and helped him put the box of cupcakes in her car. When she calls again, tell her the truth so she stops worrying about me anymore. She smirked. I don't want to. I want her to know all of this when he comes back here so we can see her reaction. I just shook my head. She really likes to make fun of someone. She was about to enter her car when we both turned our heads at the vacant lot beside my house. There was a big truck parked there and it contained construction materials. Oh, I didn't know someone was already bought that lot, Miracle said, while roaming her eyes around. Did you know about it? I shook my head. I think it just arrived. The materials haven't been unloaded and the workers were still having a meeting. She looked at me. Do you want me to look into it? I nodded. Whoever lives in that lot will become my neighbor, so it is better for us to know about them first, so I can prepare for my disguise. The only partition we have in our lot is a wall that only covers the first floor of my house, so there is always a possibility that they will see me, especially when I am on my room's balcony. Just the basic information about everyone living there, I said. I just want to make sure if I need to avoid getting seen by them or not. Okay, she said. I will give you an update later. She entered her car and started the engine. I gotta go. I am sure Mrs. Santiago is already waiting for me. Message me the next order. I will start making it, I said. And I will also be making the list for my personal grocery and for the ingredients that I need for our product. Get the twins, but all of it immediately. Since I am using my own kitchen to bake our products, some of my employees at Sweetheart were assigned to buy the ingredients that we need for our product. I am still not contacting any suppliers yet since I only make small batches. But now that we are gaining more customers every day, I guess I have to find good suppliers. Okay. She drives her car. I watched her car until it completely disappeared from my sight. And that was when I decided to go back inside the house. Before I could even close the gate, I frowned when I saw a black car stop behind the truck that came earlier. It is near my gate, so I stood there waiting for them to get out of their car so I would know the face of my future neighbors. But they were taking so long, and I got bored, so I closed the gate and went inside. I will just wait for Miracle's update later. Asper Rain. Dahlia's POV. I have been preparing another batch of cupcakes for the product that Miracle will display in our shop. That is the only thing that I did throughout the whole day. And when the sun finally set, I started taking care of the paperwork that Asia sent to me. Other than that, I still have enough time to relax and even clean the house. That is why even though I am staying at home, I don't get bored here. I have a lot of things to do and everything I need is inside my house. Sometimes I couldn't help but laugh at myself, because the life I have here is completely opposite to the life I had before. I often get out of the house and socialize with different people. And I feel like I am going crazy when I limit my appearance to the public and stay inside our house. And now, I realize that being in solitude is addictive. I can think clearly about things happening around me. And when I want someone to talk, I can just call Miracle. So, this life I have right now is not a bad one. I peeked out the window again and saw that the construction team at my neighbor's lot was starting to measure the whole lot. They are also posting the building permit they have, and some of them were unloading the equipment and materials from the truck. This will surely disturb me in my sleep if I leave my windows open since they are using big equipment. I am just glad that my whole house is soundproof from the outside noise. I frowned when I saw a man wearing a suit walking towards my gate. And when he reached the gate, he pressed the doorbell. I immediately went inside my room, wore my contact lens, and messed my hair to partially hide my face. Then, I went down and opened the gate. Hi. I smiled. How may I help you? I made sure that my bangs were hiding my eyes so I could avoid looking directly into the eyes of this man. Hello, miss. He smiled. I am Raj. My friends and I will be living in the house that is about to be built on the lot next to yours. He handed me his business card. I accepted it and gave it a quick look. Then I extended my hand to him. I don't have my card with me, but I am Asper Rain. I owned a cafe in the town proper named Sweetheart. I am still using my name when I am introducing myself, though I am not using my surname, so people assumed that my only name is Asper and Rain, which was supposed to be my second name, became my surname. Well, I am hiding, but I don't want to fake myself from the people that I am going to meet here. So, I just decided not to mention my surname. He accepted my hand and shook it. Nice to meet you. He let go of my hand. Anyway, it looks like you are busy. I just came here to introduce myself since we are going to be neighbors. Also, I just want to notify you about the construction of our house. It will be very noisy and might disturb you even at night, because it will be 24/7 work. Oh, don't worry about that, I said. My house is soundproof from outside noise, so it will not disturb me as soon as I close all of my doors and windows. He smiled. That would be great, he said. I got to go. Nice to meet you again. I just waved my hand to him when he turned around and closed the gate. Then, I went back inside my house and grabbed my phone to call Miracle. What? Miracle greeted me with an annoyed voice. You already missed me. Silly, I hissed. There was a man who went here earlier. He will be one of my neighbors and gave me his business card. I stared at the card in my hand. I think he will facilitate the construction of their house, though it is not like he is the owner. What is his name? She asked. This time, her voice became serious. Rajiv Flesko, I said. Get information about him as soon as possible. Miracle knew about my identity. She knew that I am the second child of the Axia region's duke, and she also knew that I am the famous Asper Rain Dahlia, who gave a lot of trouble to the palace, because the people of Hexoria Kingdom loved me more than the royal family of this country. She is also from the city, and she saw my face when some media managed to take a single shot of my face. I accidentally bumped her without wearing any disguise. That is why she recognized me, though she never told anyone about my secret, and I am thankful for that. We met again at the nearest supermarket, talked with each other, and became friends, and now she is helping me run my business. Other than that, she also helped me investigate the people around me to ensure that no one will recognize me again, and I will continue my life here without any fear that I might expose myself to the people that want to find me. She didn't say anything for a while, and I frowned at that. Mira. I looked at my phone and saw that it is still connected. Why? Yeah, I got it, and will look into it, she said. I will give it to you before sundown. I am nervous that you have a neighbor now. He actually looked harmless. I peeked through the window again and caught a glimpse of that man that came here earlier. Tall, slightly tan, and handsome. Although he has a dangerous aura around him and is kinda intimidating except when he is smiling. Make sure to lock your doors and windows, okay? She said. And if someone knocks on your house again, pretend as if you are busy or sleeping. I will call you if I come over to your house. It is not like we are judging them as bad people, but it is better to be sure. Okay, she added. You are alone there, so better be careful. Miracle is always the paranoid one. And she often worries about me because according to her, I am too careless in my surroundings. I already locked the doors and windows because they started the construction. I went down to the ground floor and locked the main door. Now I just locked the main door, so you can relax now. Good, she said. I will deliver your new stocks there tomorrow morning so you don't have to open those doors for the whole night. Okay. I went to the kitchen. I put the phone on a loudspeaker and placed it on the counter because I am still talking to Miracle. Anyway, I finished the order that needs to be delivered tomorrow. Come here early and take the twins with you to help you. All right. I will take care of it, she answered. Make sure to wake up early, huh? Don't make me wait for an hour again. I laughed as I remembered how pissed she was earlier when she waited longer outside my house. Promise. I will wake up early. You better be, she hissed. Well, it is her fault for waiting outside when she can just accept my spare key so she can enter my house without waking me up. I got to go, she said. Don't forget what I said, okay? She hangs up the call and I just continue cooking my dinner. Asper Rain. Dahlia's POV. Since Miracle will be here early, I woke up earlier than usual. I I don't want her to wait outside my house because she will surely hiss at me since we had an agreement last night. That is why when I saw her car arrive in front of my house, I immediately got down to open the gate for them to take inside. Everything they bought for me even though I still hadn't washed my face. I thought you would wake up early. She raised her eyebrows and looked at me from head to toe. It is obvious that you just got up in bed. She also pointed at my hair. She was with Saki and Sari, the twins that work in my store, who helped me with stocking my groceries and supplies for our product. This is some kind of part-time job for them, since Miracle couldn't handle getting all the things that I need alone. I smiled and slowly fixed my hair. Well, this is earlier than usual, I said, and you arrived earlier than what you used to do. We both turned our heads to my neighbor's lot, and were amazed when we saw that they already built the foundation of the house. Whoa, I said. I couldn't believe they were quick to work. They just arrived yesterday morning. Yet they already made huge progress on their construction. They got to dig deeper for the septic tank and place the pillars for every corner of the house that they are building. I think they are rushing that house, Miracle said, and pushed me inside my house. Was the man who talked to you last night there? I shrugged my shoulders. I don't know. I haven't seen him since that time he introduced himself. I signaled the twins to take the boxes they brought inside. Well, they already know where to put those, so I just let them inside. Oh, she nodded. We went straight to the kitchen and started preparing breakfast. Did you already know who bought the lot next to mine? I asked. Yeah, she answered while making our coffee. I talked to the real estate agency, and they told me that the one who bought the land is someone named Caspian Jinn. My eyes widened. A djinn, she sighed. Not just a djinn, Asper, she said. It was Caspian Jinn. He will be your neighbor together with his friends that also work for him. Caspian Jinn is famous around the country. He is the chief executive officer and owner of the famous and largest restaurant chain in the Hexoria Kingdom, and every restaurant under Jinn Food Corporation has already received the highest Michelin star because they can really compete with each of their dishes around the world. Their chefs are world-class, and their service is really admired by all of their customers who always come back to dine with them. Aside from that, they not only serve their world-class dishes to high-profile people, but they also serve food that middle-class and lower-class people can afford. They also have charity support, and JFC once donated a huge amount of money to my foundation that covers the whole construction of one of our buildings. Though he is famous, I never had a chance to see his face because he always refused to take an interview in every media. And everyone who dares to take a picture of him is always getting sued. Though you don't really have to worry about him or his friends, she said. They have no interest in politics and they were often out of the country, so he might not have recognized you. You had your disguise and made sure to wear that all the time just to make sure. As long as they won't see your natural eye color, they will never know that you are part of the Dahlia clan. Every legitimate member of the Dahlia clan has unique physical traits. And that is one of the things that may be used to recognize us. Aside from our gray eyes, we also have natural blonde hair, and I had to wear brown contact lenses and dye my hair black, just to cover all of it. I also put a hair extension to make my hair longer than it should be. To complete my disguise, I wear fake braces on my teeth and fake freckles on my face, total makeovers, to ensure that no one will recognize me whenever I go out. Then, Rajiv Flasko is someone close to Mr. Jinn, I said. I think he was in charge of the construction yesterday. Possible. Anyway, you have nothing to worry about, okay? Just don't forget to wear your disguise, she repeated. Okay, well, I should be really careful about that because with one wrong move, Dad or those people who want to get rid of me might get a lead to where I am hiding. I finished my breakfast first and stood up. Just take the order that needs to be delivered today to my fridge. I pointed to my refrigerator where I put the products that I made, and wait for me. I need to go out and buy my toiletries. I buy my own toiletries and other personal stuff. I don't let others do that for me. I immediately went upstairs and took a quick shower. Though I had a hard time shampooing my hair because of its length, I also put conditioner on it to avoid getting tangled and to maintain its color since I don't want to keep putting hair color on it. It might damage my hair even more, and I don't want that to happen. Like duh. Hair is one of the most important parts of a woman's body. Taking care of it makes us feel more beautiful. Once I am done, I blow dry my hair and get dressed. I just wore a simple white t-shirt, faded jeans and flat shoes. I applied light face powder and lip gloss, then put fake freckles on my face using an eyebrow pencil, and wore my fake brace. "Are you not done yet?" Miracle shouted. "We are leaving." "Wait," I shouted back. "I am coming." And when I got satisfied with everything, I grabbed my bag and ran downstairs, where Miracle was waiting for me. "Let's go." Asper Rain, Dahlia's POV. Miracle dropped me off in front of the grocery store where I usually went. Then, she continued to drive her way to the town proper to open our store. And since I don't want to waste more time, I immediately went inside the store and started wandering around while pushing a cart to buy everything I needed. Well, I already know what I am going to buy, even though I don't have a list, and I know its location so I know where to go to get the things that I need. I have been buying my stuff in this store since I got here, so I only have been spending less than 1 hour whenever I shop here. After putting everything I need to buy in my cart, I immediately bring it to the cashier to pay for it and ask them to deliver it to my house. Just like I always do. It is one of their services that I like here. That is why, even though there are other stores near our subdivision, I still choose to shop here. I can just leave everything to them and continue shopping at the nearby shop whenever I feel like wandering around the area. After my transaction at the grocery, I went to the restaurant. I just eat some slices of bread and coffee since I haven't had a chance to eat earlier at my house. I still need to shop for some new undergarments since I had this feeling that my brassiere is getting smaller. I think I already gained weight from staying too much inside my house without doing some exercise. The shop just opened, and there haven't been any customers, so I am free to wander the whole place and choose from their display, until I notice a man wearing some expensive suit staring at some woman's underwear in the display area. I can only see his side, but it is enough for me to see his handsome face. He is charming and neat, based on his looks, but there is something in him that can't stop people around from looking at him. I stared at him even longer. And to be honest, I can't help but feel that everything about him was such a waste. Especially now that he is holding and inspecting 2 types of brassiere in his hand. "What a waste," I whispered to the sales lady beside me. "He is a good-looking man, but it looks like he is gay." "You are such a judgmental person, miss," she joked. "Maybe he was just buying gifts for his sister or girlfriend. Besides, we already encounter a lot of male customers that were only asked to buy women's underwear by a woman in their lives." I turned my eyes to her. "Did you already have a customer like that who decided to personally choose what piece he will buy?" She thinks about it carefully. After a while, she frowned and shook her head. "Most of them seek help from the sales representative of our store since they don't have any idea what to choose, especially the designs." "See?" I turned my eyes back to that man. If he is not totally gay, maybe just bisexual or just a cross-dresser. Maybe cosplayers or something. That was the possible reason for that, right? Well, I don't have any issue with the third gender, to be honest. I really want to have gay friends because they are more open about everything. They are more comfortable to be with, and being friends with them doesn't get any malice with other people. Well, It is really such a waste. Anyway, I will check out all of this. I pointed at the underwear that I put in my basket and put my card on the counter. And here is my card. She immediately took care of my items. And since I can't really help staring at that man, I decided to go beside him. Hi sis, I greeted him. He looked at me and frowned. Sorry, I said. I have been staring at you since earlier, and it looks like you are having a hard time choosing what underwear to buy. He didn't answer. He just stared at me, looking confused about what I was saying, and because of that, I had a chance to look into his face more. I think I stared too much in front of him, especially in his blue eyes like an ocean that made me drown by it, but I immediately snapped out when he faked coughing. I looked away from him and turned my attention to the underwear that he is comparing. I don't know your taste in underwear, but I think this color looks good on you. I pointed at the pair of underwear that he chose earlier. Its cloth is nice and comfortable, so you can wear it on any kind of occasion. You can also use it while sleeping since it will give you a fresh feeling. I looked at him again and smiled. I don't know your size, so you can just ask the sales lady for that. I couldn't wait for his response, since the sales lady called out for me because she was finished packing what I bought. It is really a shame. I sighed. I took the paper bags and left the shop. Hey, did that woman call you sis? Rajiv couldn't believe what he just heard. He was just busy looking at the display, so I guess he heard what that woman said. And she even thought that you were the one who would wear that? Shut up, Raj. I took the pair that the woman pointed at earlier and brought it to the counter to pay for it. Kasaya can just order these online, right? He said. Why did she ask you to buy it here? The people around thought you were gay. Don't mind them. I don't really care about what other people say. That was their opinion. They may know the truth or not, but it doesn't really matter since they are not involved in my life. After the cashier packed the item that I bought, Rajiv paid for it and we left the shop. To be honest, that woman looks familiar. Rajiv opened the topic about that woman earlier. I think I already saw her before. Probably. One of your women? Hey, he exclaimed. I am not that kind of man. I always remember the name and face of the woman who I date. I shook my head. Whatever. I went inside the car, but seriously, he insisted. She is really familiar. He put the paper bag beside me and sat in the driver's seat of this car. If she is really someone that you have already seen before, then start investigating her identity, I said. We move her to lay low. I only want to have a peaceful life here, he sighed. Fine, I will take care of it. I turned my eyes outside the window, but I was not thinking about what I was seeing. My mind was fixed on thinking about the eyes of that woman. Just like Rajiv, I also feel like I know that woman. I feel like I have seen those eyes. But where? Asper Rain. Dahlia's POV. When I got out of my balcony, I saw the progress of the construction of my neighbor, and I was amazed to see that they already built the whole mansion. Well, they hired a big team for this project, and they worked non-stop for the past few days since they arrived, as if they were trying to rush everything. I am just glad that my house was soundproof, so the sound of their machines doesn't bother me. Even at night, and we don't have any other neighbors near us. They won't bother anyone. However, I was still shocked to see their progress. I mean, it is a huge property, but they still managed to build a 200 square meter mansion in just a few days, while the rest are just part of their garage and garden. It looks like their work is nearly done, Miracle said. She was now staying here, in my room, to be exact, while eating the brownies that I baked earlier and watching a movie. Once a week, I encourage her to take a day off from work. And since she doesn't want to go out most of the time, she always spends it here in my house. She loves watching movies, but doesn't want to do it alone in her house since she always chooses horror movies to watch. Yeah. She loves that genre, but she was afraid to watch it alone. So, whenever she has a day off, she stays here in my house and enjoys it in my room together with me. I went back inside and closed my balcony door. To be honest, I am nervous. I stared at the window, but then I turned my head to her when the sound from the television stopped. She paused it and looked at me. "Why are you nervous?" "Well," I sighed and sat beside her. "I don't know anything about Caspian Jinn. I don't even know his face, even though his name was all over the news. And if ever we face each other, there is a big possibility that he might recognize me. I already told you, right?" she said. "He is often out of the country, so he might not even know you. Besides, someone like him is not interested in anything political that happened here, so you can relax." She finished investigating anything about him, and with the help of someone she knows at the Municipal Hall of Yane City, she got what she needed. Then she immediately gave it to me. That is when I learned that Caspian Jinn was not born here. He was born in the Avenir Kingdom and was a foreigner in this land. However, his family became a citizen here after living there for almost a decade, and most of the time, he goes out of the country and never really stays long. He also rarely showed his face to the public, despite getting tons of invitations from the industry that he belongs to. He was quite famous in the business world, and his name was often published in different magazines and social media platforms. "I know that," I said, "but we can never be sure. He is not the only one who will live there. Someone beside him will surely see me in the news or anything. Miracle already helped me take down all my photos and videos all over the internet. It is to lessen the people here from recognizing me. But it is only a year since I vanished from the eyes of the public. It is not like they already forgot my face," she sighed. "Please don't worry too much about that," she said. "He might recognize you, but I can assure you that as long as you don't meddle with him, he will not do anything to meddle with your life here." I frowned. "What do you mean?" "I learned that the reason why he was staying here in Yane City was to avoid the public eye," she said. "I think one of his trusted employees got involved in an incident, and his name got dragged by the news, so his advisors told him to lay low for a while. So, as long as I don't do anything to ruin his peaceful life here, he will also not ruin my life here." She nodded. "And to be honest, I think it is better for you if you form a relationship with him as his neighbor." I raised my eyebrows on her. The only houses standing in this area of the subdivision were mine and his. "But I don't have any plans to get close to him." "Where did you get that idea?" "He is the only neighbor you had here," she said, "and I am more worried because you live in this area where there are no other houses around. To lessen your worries, you want me to be close with them." She didn't hesitate to nod. "I don't see anything wrong with Caspian Jinn. His records in any database we had were clean, so I think we can trust him," she explained. "So if anything happens, just in case, you can run to them and ask for help." She has a point, to be honest. If something bad happens to me, she can't immediately come to me since her place is in the other area of this subdivision. Besides, she also has her own life. I can't always depend on her. I have been hindering her chance to enjoy her life. Because of my selfishness, I turned my head at the window again and sighed. I suddenly felt guilty after realizing that every work in the cafe was handled by her, and it is taking most of her time. She doesn't have enough to spare for other things that she wants to do. "Hey," Miracle called me. "Did I say something that upset you?" "Nah." I looked at her again and shook my head. "I am not upset." "Then, why are you making that kind of face, as if you are feeling guilty about something?" "Well?" I scratched my head and avoided making eye contact with her. I actually am feeling guilty. Why? Guilty for being too dependent on you, I said. You know, you don't have enough time to spare for yourself because you are so busy taking care of me and sweetheart. I have been hindering your life. Hey, she exclaimed, you are not hindering my life and you never bother me. You might not say it, but we can't deny that fact, Mira, I added. Aside from helping me with sweetheart, you are also busy making sure that no one will be able to find me here. You are taking care of everything while I am here in my house, living in peace, without exerting any effort for myself. Asper, we are friends, right? She held my hand, and it made me look at her again. In the situation you have right now, sweetheart will surely not sell anything if I don't do anything. You cannot manage it all alone. Sweetheart is my main source of income for my daily expenses. As far as I can, I don't want to use any of my money and assets that I inherited from my grandmother to ensure that my father will not be able to trace where I am, and some portion of the cafe's income was sent to Asia. It was for the expenses of the foundation and hospital that we founded because some of our donors before were backing out from us after I limited my appearance in public. That is why I am so thankful to Miracle, because I cannot survive this kind of life without her. I probably lost my chance to build Sweetheart, and Dad probably found me. Because of her, I managed to continue living here in Yane City without worrying about anything. Besides, it was my own decision to help you, she added. And I am thankful because even though you met me not long enough, you already trusted me with all your life. It is not hard to trust this woman, because she showed how true she was in front of me, and she never showed or did anything that would ruin my trust in her. So, don't feel guilty, okay? She said. What I am doing is something that I decided for myself. I choose how I spend my day and you have nothing to do with that. So please stop this drama. She laughed and shook her head. We should be screaming in fear because of what we are watching and not crying because of this drama. I sighed again. I understood what she was trying to say, and it made me feel good. I was just thinking that maybe you have some suitors that you can't entertain, because you were so busy taking care of me. Her eyes widened as if she didn't believe that I actually said that. Are you kidding me? She asked. You really thought about that? I nodded. You are not getting any younger, Mira. You might not say anything. I know that your parents are still bothering you about getting married as soon as possible. Don't mind that. Okay. She played the movie again and focused her eyes on the screen. I don't have a boyfriend and I don't have any suitors. I am more enjoying working at Sweetheart than entertaining some guys who will probably end up hurting me, she said. Aside from that, you are paying me good money. You know that I have been saving up to open my own business, right? Well, I guess feeling guilty about it will not do any good for us. She will just insist on everything in her way to make me feel good. So, I just sighed and watched the movie with her. Asper Rain. Dahlia's POV. My neighbor's house finished after 15 days only. From the foundation, floor, and roof. It also has water and electricity service. The furniture and appliances also arrived earlier. The only ones missing were the people living there, and from my room, I can see that they have heavy security. A lot of guards were roaming around the property. There were CCTV cameras in every corner, and the height of the wall around it was so tall that nobody would try to climb it. 5 cars suddenly arrived and parked in their garage. So I think those are the people who live in that mansion. I immediately put on my contact lenses, grabbed the box of cupcakes that I baked earlier, and left the house. I make this for my neighbor since according to Miracle, it is better to have a nice relationship with them, so if anything happens to me, I can count on them. And of course vice versa, though I actually doubt if I can help them with anything. I stood up in front of their gate and took a deep breath. I am excited to meet my neighbor, but I am also nervous. And I am curious about this Caspian Jinn. His name was famous all over the business world, especially within the food industry. And a lot of people are doing their best to have a partnership with them. I rang the doorbell and waited for a bit. Who are you? I turned at the intercom on the side of the gate and smiled when I saw that there was a camera there. I waved my hand in front of it. I am Asper, your neighbor. I pointed at my house and turned at the camera again. Do you need something? I showed him the box that I bought. I am also the owner of a pastry shop in town, and I brought some gifts for you. I didn't get any reply, but after a while, the gate opened, and I was greeted by Rajiv, the man who went to my house the first day they arrived here, and introduced himself. I was actually taken aback when I saw him for the second time. Well, the first time I saw him, he was so serious that it actually intimidated me. I even thought that he was some kind of dangerous man, but seeing him now makes me think twice. His aura is refreshing, with his simple shirt and faded jeans. He still has these dangerous vibes, but his smile overshadowed it. Hi, Asper, he greeted me with a smile. He opened the gate wider and guided me inside. Come in, I will introduce you to my friends. Oh. I bowed at him and went inside. Am I not bothering you? It is okay, he said. He closed the gate, and we went inside the mansion. We just arrived and everyone was just hanging in the playroom. I couldn't help but be amazed when we arrived at their living room. It doesn't have much design, not the normal fancy mansion that I always saw at my friend's house. The walls were just coated white, and the floor was like a chessboard, alternating between matte white and black. The furniture was also picked with black and white color, with the shade of gray, and these kinds of colors were one of the signs that the only people living here were mostly men. I baked these cupcakes. I handed him the box in my hand, just a welcome present for you. He smiled and accepted the box. Thank you. The guys will surely love this since they haven't eaten anything yet. Eh? Our chef hasn't arrived yet, and none of us knows how to cook, he said. Well, aside from Jin, but we can't ask him to cook for us. Why not order something out for delivery? He shook his head. Jin doesn't advise that kind of service. Oh, I nodded. Maybe they were thinking that someone would recognize them if they relied on ordering out for their food and delivering it here. Anyway, stay here for a while and have a seat, he said, and put the cupcake on the table. I will just call them. Before I could answer, he ran to the second floor. I sat on their sofa and looked around. Then after a while, I heard a loud noise and footsteps upstairs that made me turn my eyes at the stairs, and I saw 3 men trying their best to be the first to get down the stairs. Damn it, Raj, one of them shouted. I got here first, idiot. Raj trying to get away from the other 2. I am not having a competition with you. Asper is waiting for us. Get the hell out of my way. Another man shouted. He was trying to shove Raj and the other man to the side to pass them. I am hungry. I stood up and turned to them. I coughed to get their attention. They immediately stopped what they were doing, stood up straight, and looked at me. Asper. Rajiv immediately went down the stairs and stood beside me. Those 2 idiots are my friends. He pointed at them. The one on the left is Shale, while the one on the right is Karu. They are also living here with me and Jin. I smiled at them and bowed my head. Nice to meet you. I am Asper Rain. Asper Rain. They frowned and looked at each other. My smile slowly faded away after seeing their reaction. Shit. Did they know me? Were they aware that I am from the Dahlia clan? Did they see me in the news or magazines before we could even take down my photos and videos? They suddenly laughed while Karu pointed at me. Your name sounds like aspirin. You know, the medicine thing. I puffed out my cheeks to hide my annoyance because of what they just said. Well, I am not offended. I just remembered my siblings because they often tease me with the same thing. And whenever they were mad at me, they couldn't say my name properly, and just called me Aspirin. Hey! Rajiv scolded them. Don't joke about her name. He looked at me and gave me an apologetic smile. Sorry, they don't know how to restrain themselves. I took a deep breath and smiled at him. No, it is okay, I said. My siblings were also calling me like that, so it is not something that can offend me. You heard her. Karu stood in front of me. He took my hand and kissed the back of it. Nice to meet you, milady. I was uncomfortable with his approach, but I think this is their tradition whenever they meet a woman their age, so I didn't react or anything. I just smiled at him. Schlane has a different greeting because he just bowed his head to me while putting his hand on his right chest. We will be neighbors starting today. Milady, please take care of us. I thought that this visit would be an awkward situation. That is why the only thing that I planned earlier was to give my present and introduce myself. I don't intend to follow Miracle's advice and be friends with them because of how I was intimidated by Rajiv the first day, but I can see that they are all nice. So I am looking forward to a good relationship with my new neighbors. Asper Rain. Dahlia's POV. I didn't expect that I could get close to my neighbors. And the reason why we become suddenly close? Well, it is my dessert. They love the cupcakes that I gave to them the first time I visited their house. And after Karu learned that I was the one who baked the product of my shop, they made a made-to-order request for everyday supplies. Rajiv was opposed to that idea. He said that they should be ashamed of requesting something that may bother me or ruin my schedule, but I immediately told him that it was okay. I can make their order every day and deliver it personally since I can include that from the other orders. Of course, they insisted on paying the full price of their orders. Even though I said that it was okay if they didn't, I even tried to give them a discount, but they also didn't accept that. So we come to a compromise by giving them free delivery. So, I always go to their house, stay there for a little bit, and chat with them, and I have been doing that for 3 weeks. With all those times, I slowly get comfortable with the 3 of them, but all those weeks, I haven't been able to meet the owner of the house, Caspian Jinn. I once asked Rajiv about him, and he said that it is natural for Jinn not to socialize himself with other people. Especially with someone he doesn't know. He just likes staying in his room, whenever he has this kind of free time. Reading books, watching movies, or sleeping. I also asked if it was okay for him to visit his house almost every day since he never even tried to face me. But Rajiv said that Jane already knows me. He just doesn't want to leave his room, but he already told him that I can visit here whenever I want. Today, they ordered a lot of brownies, and I am delivering them to their house. They scheduled this delivery every day at 6 in the evening to make sure that I would join their dinner with them, though I won't be joining tonight. I have other plans, so I will just deliver it. Raj. I pressed the intercom after ringing up the doorbell. I am already here. You can come in, Asper, he answered. Then please come straight here on the 2nd floor. You don't need to knock, just enter the white door on your left. Okay. The door was automatically opened and I went inside, and just like what Rajiv said, I made my way straight to the 2nd floor. But I was taken aback when I saw that there were 2 white doors there. And it was also both on my left, so I didn't know what I should open. I sighed. I need to deliver it to them as soon as possible. Miracle was already on her way to my house since we would be having dinner together. I sighed again, and I decided to open the nearest white door. If they are not here, I can just close it and open the 2nd one. But instead of seeing Rajiv, I saw another man. He was standing in front of the mirror, topless, while trying to wear a red brassiere. Oh my God! I covered my mouth in shock. Shit. I got his attention and was shocked when he saw me. He was about to shout at me, but I didn't hear anything because I immediately closed the door. Damn? Well, I didn't know where I should react. That man is definitely handsome. He has good body features built with muscles and six-pack abs on his abdomen. He probably hits the gym often, but something is not right with that sight. I mean, he was like some Greek god that descends from heaven. So, why does he try to wear a freaking red brassiere? Oh, shit, it was a shame. He has the looks and body, yet he is definitely gay. I looked at the next white room when it opened, and I saw Rajiv get out of there. He also looked at me and smiled. Oh, you were there. He opened the door widely. You can stay here for a while. The chef is still preparing our dinner. I handed him the box of brownies that they ordered and entered the room. I can't actually join you for dinner tonight. I made some plans with my friend and she is on her way to my house. I gave another Tupperware to Shlain. This one is free. I just made another dessert for tonight. Are you a good cook, Aspirin? Karu asked. Can we also request a bowl of your food? We are kind of used to the food that our chef cooks. It doesn't taste good anymore. Hey, Rajiv scolded them. Don't say that. Our chef flew from Paris just to give you good food, but we don't want it anymore, Shlain said. In our situation right now, it is not good for us to keep eating food that tastes like restaurant. It is better to have the touch of homemade. I sighed. Sorry, but I can't share anything with you right now. I only cook enough for the two of us. Their shoulders dropped after hearing that, based on the personality that they showed to me these past few days. I am sure that these three guys are not used to staying home for a very long time. They have the lifestyle of typical rich men who often go out and have some fun in the bars and any outdoor activity. It is not really in their personality to just stay here and play video games, but because of the incident that involved one of Jin's trusted staff, they had to do what was necessary and sacrifice what they were used to doing before. I scratched my forehead and looked at Rajiv, and it looked like he also wanted to have a taste of some homemade food. I sighed. Fine. They all looked at me. Relieve your chef from his duty, and starting tomorrow, I will cook for you. Their faces lightened. Karu even went up to me and held my hand. Really? I nodded. That is all I can do for you, I said. But, you will shoulder all the expenses for ingredients, okay? I said. Then I gave one of my house keys to Rajiv. You will also do the groceries and bring them to my house. Rajiv was hesitant to take my keys. Are you sure you are going to give us access to your house just like that? I nodded again. You also gave me access to your house, right? It was just a give and take situation. He shook his head. No, Asper. Your situation is different, he said. You are a woman, and it is nice for us to just go to your house without your knowledge, even if you gave us permission. Nope. I took his hand and put the keys there. You trusted me, right? So it is my turn to trust you. And let's hope that both of us cherish that trust. I tapped his shoulder and turned to Karu and Shlain. See you tomorrow. I didn't wait for them to say anything and just left. I am sure that Miracle was already in my house and waiting for me. Asper Rain, Dahlia's PUV. I know that I was the one who suggested that you should be close to your neighbor, Mira said. She just arrived and she saw me leave my neighbor's house. But I didn't expect that in the first 3 weeks they got there, you would already have freedom to get in and out of their house. Well, they trusted me easily and they loved my desserts. I opened my gate and we went straight to the kitchen since I made the table and put our food there. They want everyday supplies of Sweetheart's products, so I'm just giving them a special delivery. And it is making you busy, she said. You should start hiring someone who will help you make our products. For now? I shook my head. I can still manage my time with doing our products and some other stuff. Are you sure? She asked. I can just put a hiring sign so when you need them, we can just call them. She has a point there. Just like what I told Miracle, I can still manage everything on my own. I have so much time to spare after making the products that we are selling in the shop and helping my neighbors, so it doesn't really bother me anything. But based on Sweetheart's performance these past few months, I think I should consider this idea. It is not impossible for me to get overwhelmed by my job if someone is making a bulk order. I sighed. I guess you are right, I said. It is better for us to be ready just in case. Especially since Sweetheart's customers keep coming in unexpected numbers as days pass. She smiled. I understand, she said. I will put up a hiring sign tomorrow, then I will tell you when we start the interview. I nodded. Okay. After we ate, I washed the dishes alone while Mira took a half bath. And when I got into my bedroom, I saw her sitting in my bed while staring at the screen of my television where her favorite horror film was playing. Though, the movie still pauses as she waits for me. Aside from resting, that is the only thing that she loves to do here whenever she sleepovers here. She glared at me. What took you so long? She complained. She started playing the movie and focused there. I don't really understand why she loves watching horror movies, but she can't stand watching them alone. I laughed. Sorry. I went straight to the bathroom and left the door open because Miracle would not like it if I closed it. Why do you love to watch that kind of movie? But you are afraid to watch it alone. I don't know, she said. I just love it. No explanation needed. But I can't help but imagine the same thing happening to me in real life whenever I am alone in a room, so watching it alone is not really my option. What about watching it in a movie cinema? I soaked my body in the bathtub full of warm water. Have you tried that? I tried watching one in a theater since most of the movies were so long to put in a streaming site, she said. And I think that one is okay. There were a lot of people around, so I did not feel alone, but the ambiance itself doesn't really take away my fear. Oh. After a while, I continued taking a bath. Then, I put on my pajamas and went out of the bath. You didn't enjoy the dark setting of the theater, she harshly shook her head. In fact, I feel like it triggers my fear of that kind of place, because since then, I never really set my foot inside of it again. I didn't know that you were that dramatic. I shook my head. She can't even stand watching it in theaters because she is afraid yet. She still wants to keep watching this kind of genre. She is that weird. And she can't even understand why she was like this. I sat behind her and leaned on her back. Do you have a picture of Caspian gin? Why do you ask? She asked. I told you before, right? I said. Ever since I set foot inside my neighbor's house, I still haven't managed to meet him. Even though he was just inside the house and staying on the second floor, he still didn't show himself. To you? I shook my head. But as told you earlier, they already gave me access to their house, so I don't think he was still suspicious of me. She started to think, but after a while she just sighed. Maybe he just doesn't want to meet you face to face. Or probably he was not available on those times that you were at his house. Oh, that is also possible. I stood up and sat beside her. But you know what? She paused the movie and looked at me while raising her eyebrows on me. What? I actually saw another man inside their house, I said. And if I am not mistaken, that was the same man that I already saw at one of the boutiques near the supermarket. And who was that man? I shrugged my shoulders. It was just a coincidence that we met there, I said. And you know what was weird? Oh, it looks like a rumor, huh? That caught all of her interest. She even turned off the television and faced me. Now spill all the tea. I laughed and shook my head. She was really active when it came to rumors, and she gave me all her attention whenever I had something to say to the people that I encountered. As I said earlier, I first saw that man in a boutique near the supermarket that I usually go to. I started. He was holding underwear and carefully choosing what to buy, so I thought that he was, I sighed. Gay. She frowned. What is wrong with that? Nothing. I immediately shook my head. He just got my attention because he was super hot. A handsome Greek god. To be exact, if they were real. From his hair that was carefully combed, his fair complexion. His eyes are actually like an ocean. Wait. She stopped me, eyes with the color of the ocean. I nodded. Why? I know only one person with that kind of eye color. She immediately grabbed her bag and took her phone. She scrolled in it for a while as if finding something. It took her too long, and whenever I tried to continue my story, she kept interrupting me by putting her hand in front of me. What a bummer. I was the one who was telling the story, yet she was interrupting me. Found it. She smiled from ear to ear and showed me the screen of her cell phone. Is this the man that you saw? I stared at the picture in her phone and nodded. Yeah, it was the same person, I said. He is also the same person that I saw in one of the rooms next door that was trying his best to wear a brassiere, so I think my guess was right. He is gay. I turned my eyes on her again. Why do you have this picture? He is Jin. Asper. My eyes widened. What? He is Caspian Jin, the youngest bachelor CEO of JN Food Chain Corporation, she said. He is the owner of that house. Oh my. I covered my mouth from the shock. Does it mean that the famous bachelor that every woman in Hexoria is crazy about is gay? Asper Rain. Dahlia's POV. I am not really against any third gender. I don't have a problem with them. And in fact, I love to engage in a conversation with them because I know that they have so many things to say that I am sure will help me learn about them. But I think Miracle can't blame me for spacing out after she said that the man that I met twice and the owner of the house next door was Caspian Jin. Well, he had a lot of admirers and stalkers, to be honest. And if I heard it right, even the princesses of the Hexoria kingdom were also finding their chance to make him agree to enter an arranged marriage with him. But, sad to say, no one really succeeded. Aside from that, he never really socializes with anyone, especially with girls. And now, I understand why he was like that. He doesn't like women, I whispered. He likes men. I looked at Miracle and held her shoulders. The Caspian Jin that every woman around the world adores is actually gay. Miracle was also shocked by what I was just saying. She was just staring at me, and I could see in her eyes that she was hesitant to accept the fact that I was shoving in front of her. I am not kidding, Mira, I said. I clearly saw that man. I pointed at Caspian Jin's picture on her phone. Trying to wear the brassiere that I chose for him to buy when I met him at the underwear shop. He is gay. She still didn't say anything, but after a while, she took a deep breath and held my shoulder. I don't know how he ended up in that kind of situation, but I am telling you, Asper, he is not gay. I frowned. And how can you say that? She sighed again. Details are not that important. What matters is that I can assure you that he is not gay. But, I saw him. I know, she said. But you can't just base his sexuality just because you saw him like that. What if someone was just trying to dare him? I frowned again. Is he someone who will risk his reputation over silly things? She let go of me but kept her eyes on me. It is not like he is risking his reputation, she said. In the shop where you saw him, he was probably buying things for his girlfriend or sister. And he was inside his house when you saw him trying that brassiere, right? I nodded. See? She insisted. It was his private place. His safe place, so he can do silly things there without thinking of his reputation around the world. Well, she has a point, but even if she was right, it was still not enough for me to erase my initial impression of him. Fine. For the third time, she sighed again. I know that you will not accept whatever I told you because you personally see him trying those underwear. I nodded. I am glad you knew that. We have been together for a year, she said. I think I already have an idea how your little mind works. So instead of shoving you the fact that I know about Caspian Jinn being a straight man, I will just give you one piece of advice. Advice? She nodded. Don't you dare become so comfortable with him if you happen to face him again just because you think he is gay, okay? Why? Gay or not, he is still a man, she insisted. He is still the opposite gender of women, so you still have to be careful when he is around you. Besides, not every gay man looks for men. There are still some who choose to be with women in their life. There was no harm in doing what she was saying. So I nodded. Fine, I will be careful. She smiled. Good. She turned on the television again and continued what she was watching. Then, let's go back to our relaxing time. I just shook my head and went to my table. I still have to sign some important papers for the foundation and hospital. Azia said that she was planning to give these to the possible donor that she was talking to. So I need to send this to her as soon as possible. I started to study every document that Azia sent to me and signed the ones that didn't need an explanation from her. While I set aside those that need further information, I am not someone who would just accept donations from anybody. This foundation was founded by my grandmother, and I have to make sure that it would never get involved in any shady people or transactions. I had to take care of its reputation with everything I had, so I always do something to ensure that everyone has a clean intention of donating to the foundation. Part of this decision was because of the royal family of this country. They are keeping their eyes on us. Yes, they are quiet and didn't do anything, but I am sure that they are just waiting for me to make a mistake. And that is when they do something to take away or close the foundation. So, I really have to be careful with everything that I will do for the foundation. I turned to Miracle. Mrs. Flary called the shop earlier and reminded us about the invitation that she sent to Sweetheart. She said that it was a private event that would be held in her house. You received the invitation, right? Yeah. Are we going? She asked without looking at me. I can arrange our schedule that day. Well, I think we don't really have any choice but to attend, I said. Mrs. Flary was one of our first customers at Sweetheart, and she still keeps ordering us. It would be a shame if we rejected her invitation. Besides, she rarely held this kind of event. She paused the movie and looked at me. Did she invite a lot of people? I shook my head. It was a private event, so only a handful of people will be going there, I answered. And she mentioned that she only invited their family friends. She also said that the reason that she was inviting us was because of the potential customers that we might get, since a lot of her friends keep asking her about the sweets that she was ordering. Oh, she said. Then it only means that you really need someone to help you on making our products. I guess we should really do that idea. If we are able to get additional customers because of that event, I might get overwhelmed by the work, especially now that Azia has been sending me tons of documents that I need to check and sign. I sighed. Let's see first the result once we attend the event, I said. I will make a decision after that. She nodded and gave me an okay sign. If that is what you want. Asper Rain. Dahlia's POV. I took a deep breath while standing in front of my neighbor's gate. I am quite nervous after knowing that the person that I met twice in such an awkward situation was Caspian Jinn. I don't know how to act after witnessing all those things, and I was thinking that he might forbid me from visiting their house and take back the keys that they gave to me until, when are you going to stand there? I almost jumped because of the sudden voice I heard behind me. I immediately turned my back to him, and I was greeted by the enticing eyes of Caspian Jinn. Those ocean blue eyes made me feel like I was drowning, even though he was just looking at me with nothing but cold stares, and to be honest, it is giving me chills. Oh my God, I covered my mouth. I am sorry. I went out of his way and stood beside the gate. I don't know how to face him after seeing everything. And I am still confused about how I should act in front of him. I mean, should I act as if we were close? I already saw his deepest secrets that most of his admirers didn't know, but that would be inappropriate. Even though they welcomed me to their house because of his friends, that doesn't mean that I should act like we were close. Why? You are Caspian Jinn, right? Well, I just want to confirm it from him, even though Miracle already showed me his pictures last night. He nodded and went to the gate. And you are Asper Rain. He opened the gate and looked at me. Look. He was about to say something, so I looked at him. But after a while he shut his mouth and shook his head. Nothing. Just go inside. I am sure that the others are waiting for you. I am confused by his actions since it is clear that he wants to say something. But I decided to let it go and followed him. From his actions earlier, I think our previous encounter doesn't bother him. I guess I don't have to mention it to him, and I kind of felt relief because of that. Maybe I was just overthinking everything since last night, because I thought that it would be such a big deal for me to see all of that. You have a visitor, Jane said when we got to the dining area, and Rajiv, Shlain, and Karu immediately went in front of us. Sorry if we had a last-minute request, huh? Rajiv said. Jean said that it is better if you cook here instead of us going to your house. It is more convenient, right? You don't have to bring the food that you cook. Aside from the key to my house, I also gave them my contact number, just in case they need anything from me. And last night, Rajiv called me to tell me what Jean said. Instead of bringing the ingredients, it is better for me to just cook in their house. And it is not really a problem for me. Oh, you don't have to worry about that, I said. It looks like your kitchen is complete with everything I need. Escort her to the kitchen, Raj, Jen, commanded who was climbing the stairs, and give her everything she needs, okay? Yes, boss. Rajiv answered and saluted him. Then he looked at me. Let's go. I smiled and nodded. Then I followed him to the way where their kitchen was. Karu and Shlain also followed us. I think they are going to watch me cook. Do you have a request for today's breakfast? I asked. Jane loves rice, Karu said. So it would be better if you cook something that will be partnered with rice. I nodded. I also like to eat rice, so I have been studying a lot of meals with that. I couldn't help but feel amazed when we arrived at their kitchen. Everything is completed. From appliances that can be used for every kind of cooking, up to the utensils, plates, and other kitchenware that will help me cook easier. Their food stocks are also completed. Their pantry and refrigerators are full. Fresh meats, frozen goods, vegetables, and fruits. They also have a lot of spices, seasonings, and other herbs. Well, I should expect this kind of kitchen stock since they hired a professional chef. And for someone like me who is slowly learning how to cook and enjoy it, this kind of kitchen is like a paradise. Okay, I said. Let's start cooking for your breakfast. I accepted the apron that Shlain handed to me and wore it. Then, I started scanning their pantry to decide what meal I should cook, That would be better to partner with rice this morning. When I see something that catches my attention, I immediately collect every ingredient that I am going to use. I put it all on the counter beside the stove, then went to the refrigerator. I took out some chicken and went back to the counter and looked at them. You don't have any allergy to these ingredients, right? We are not picky eaters, Karu said. We eat everything that serves us. And if you are thinking of Jin, there is only one thing that he doesn't eat. I frowned. What is it? He was not allergic to that, he answered. He just doesn't like the taste of ginger in his food. I nodded. I will be cooking some fried rice, chicken teriyaki, and egg drop soup, and it doesn't require any ginger, so I guess it will pass. I also plan to make some pork dumplings since that is what I crave for today. It was just a simple yet heavy breakfast. This is what it means to me when they said before that they want their food to taste like they are home. Asper Rain, Dahlia's PUV. After finishing our food, Rajiv and the others started to take care of the dining table. They were the ones who put plates, glasses, and utensils there since they didn't have any made there. And since they want it to be some kind of homey breakfast, I decided to put every dish in the last bowl, and we will just have to get our portion on the table. I was about to wash the dishes, but Rajiv said that I should join them before the food got cold. So I sat there with them. This is not the first time that I have eaten here, but this is the first time that Jason joined us here at the dining table. I scratched my head. Sorry if it was not that fancy. Don't worry about that, Aspirin, Schlane said. We preferred to have this kind of breakfast. Let's eat, Jen said. He was the first one to get his food and put it on his plate. Then the others followed him. I was actually nervous while looking at them getting their food. I am not really sure if I managed to season it properly to reach their taste. I gulped with every move they made, until they finally did their first bite. Please give me honest feedback on the food. If we put this in Jen's restaurant, I am sure that no one will order this. Rajiv didn't hesitate to say, some may order it, but it is not something that they will order every day, Schlane added. Not really for a restaurant's menu. This kind of food is hard to market, Karu said. I felt embarrassed after hearing all of that. I guess it doesn't fit their taste. It has mild flavors, and nothing is really special about this dish, Jean added, which made me close my eyes. Well, I was the one who asked for their honest opinion, so I don't have the right to complain about what I am hearing right now. But I still can't help but feel hurt. I mean, Miracle loves the food that I cook. But I failed to impress these guys. Yes. This is not something that I can market in my restaurant, but if I had to choose whether this food or the food that our previous chef cooks, I always choose this one. This time, I opened my eyes and looked at them. I saw them continue eating the food that I cooked as if it were the most delicious food that they ate. I thought, we didn't say this food tastes bad, Aspirin, Karu said. We were just comparing it to a dish that was made in the restaurant since that was what we often eat before. But the simplicity of this dish is what makes it more delicious than any other food from the restaurant, Jin added. Because it made us feel like we were home. The nervousness that I felt earlier slowly faded and was replaced by happiness because of what they said. I made them feel at home with my cooking, even though they were far from their actual home. And it is a great achievement for me. Making someone happy through my cooking is great. Thank you, Asper. Jin smiled while looking at me. I hope you will continue to cook for us. I am willing to pay you. I immediately shook my head. That is not necessary, I said. You don't have to pay me for cooking here. You already shoulder everything from ingredients in places where I cook, and eating here with you is enough for me. Just pay for the dessert that I always deliver to you, just like always. He frowned. Are you sure? He asked. Does it not bother you if you have to go here just to cook for us? I shook my head and started to put rice on my plate. There is no problem about that. My schedule is always open around this time since I only work at home. Plus, we are already hiring additional personnel for Sweetheart, so it will give me more free time. Miracle is really great at her job, and since she posted the hiring sign outside the shop, we already have 5 applicants who want to be part of our shop, and most of the time, I work at night to make sure that our product is still fresh upon delivery, I added. So, it is really enough for me to eat here, he nodded. If that is the case, then I won't insist. If you need more customers, just tell me, Rajiv said while pointing at himself. I can recommend your shop to my friends. Well, that would be nice if they lived here in Yane City. They frowned. Do you not deliver nationwide? Karu asked. I mentioned your dessert to my siblings and he also wanted to taste it. My Sweetheart just started 5 months ago. And we are still adjusting with our everyday customers, so I haven't taken care of our new delivery service, I explained. So, we only focus our sales here at Yane City for potential customers. Ah, Schlane said. That would be a shame. Once we adjust ourselves with changes in the shop, that is when we will start our delivery to other cities and provinces. However, I am still hesitant about that idea. I don't want to make my shop too famous. In fact, I really want it to be local, only here in Yane City, to ensure that I won't get the attention of the people involved in my family. I have some friends around Yane City who will surely love your desserts, Jian said. I will recommend you shop for them. Really? They nodded and I smiled. Thank you. Don't thank me, he said. We are just giving back our favors to each other. You cook for us, then we will give you potential customers for your shop. Still, I want to thank you because I am happy that Mira is not the only one who will enjoy the food that I cook. I feel great knowing that I can bring happiness to the people who eat my food just by making them feel at home. I thought I could only do that with my dessert. I am starting to enjoy cooking more than I expected.